Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're unpacking something literally game-changing, the Teventia debate management system. Think of it like this massive epistemic engine. It's a machine built from the ground up to solve our modern digital information crisis. You know that feeling of being totally lost in the endless noise of online arguments? Well, this is the architecture designed to cut right through all that outrage and actually establish verified facts.
To really wrap our heads around how this works, let's trace a user's journey. Let's take a massive, highly contentious claim right out of today's headlines. Does artificial intelligence reduce economic stability? I mean, we hear sweeping statements exactly like this every single day, right? But how do we actually prove them? Let's dive in and find out.
What we're going to see is how Teventia doesn't just lazily show you two sides of a debate. Instead, it algorithmically deconstructs the whole thing to figure out what is factual, what's statistically probable, or what's just demonstrably false. Now, platforms like Ground News are awesome for highlighting media bias by showing you different partisan coverage, but they ultimately fail to verify the actual structural integrity of the evidence supporting those narratives. Teventia was built to solve exactly that limitation.
So, when our user drops that heavy claim about AI and the economy, Teventia doesn't just nod and accept it. No way. It forces the user to deconstruct their argument using what's called the Toolman model. It essentially separates your core claim from your empirical grounds, and then it demands a logical warrant that connects the two together. You can't just fire off a quick opinion here. You literally have to show your math. And it gets so much deeper when you look at how it tests that logic. The platform uses Douglas Walton's 96 argumentation schemes to pinpoint the exact way a user is reasoning. For example, if our user cites a famous tech CEO, the system immediately recognizes an argument from expert opinion scheme. Then it automatically prompts specific critical questions to test it. It asks things like, hey, is this expert actually credible in macroeconomics? And is what they're saying consistent with other experts in the field?
Behind the scenes, things get really wild. An autonomous multi-agent debate AI, they call it ToolMad, wakes up to intensely cross-examine the evidence. Think of this like a high-speed digital courtroom pipeline. You've got a decomposition agent breaking the claim down, retrieval agents gathering data, a synthesis agent calculating a verdict, and finally an evaluator agent. This evaluator acts as an adversarial red team, literally trying to break its own logic just to ensure the final output is incredibly robust.
Now, you might be wondering, how do we stop these AI agents from just hallucinating facts? Good question. The retrieval agents use the Teh-Vehn-Shia API to completely bypass the normal, human-centric formatting of traditional search engines. Instead, they pull clean, structured data from trusted domains almost instantly. We're talking a 180 millisecond latency. That is literally faster than you can blink. It completely grounds the debate in fresh, real-time context and practically eliminates the risk of the AI just making things up.
So the really crucial point here is that not all evidence is created equal. Teventia dynamically triggers highly specialized verification protocols depending on the exact type of evidence our user submits. Say they submit statistical polling. The AI will cross-reference authoritative databases for sample size validity to prevent base rate neglect. But if they submit a news article, it uses lateral reading to check for sensationalism and bias across the political spectrum. It adapts perfectly to the evidence.
Let's push this further. Say our user submits a video of a factory closing to prove AI is wreaking havoc on the economy, and let's say that video is even protected by cryptographic C2PA digital provenance. Sounds bulletproof, right? Well, the AI recognizes a critical limitation here. C2PA certifies the structural history of a media file, so it proves it isn't a deepfake, but it doesn't certify the semantic truth of the claim attached to it. The AI knows that totally unmanipulated footage can still be dangerously miscontextualized, so it maintains strict neutrality and keeps digging for the actual truth.
Next up, the community steps in to review things. But forget about those simplistic likes or binary upvote buttons that just breed echo chambers and herd behavior. Instead, users have to measure across multiple dimensions: truth, relevance, and bias. If you disagree with something, you can't just angrily downvote it and walk away. The system actually forces you to provide counter-evidence. It's brilliant because it intentionally creates friction to wake up our critical thinking. If a user spots a flaw in that AI economic argument, they must tag it using a visual codex of over 180 cognitive biases, which span 4 main generative mechanisms. So if someone uses a single localized factory closing to claim a global economic collapse, another user can jump in and tag that specific claim with the availability heuristic. It instantly highlights exactly where the structural flaw in the reasoning lies for everyone else to see.
Once an idea actually survives both that rigorous AI verification and the human consensus mechanics, it graduates. It becomes a knowledge atom. Think of a knowledge atom as a single, self-contained Lego brick of verifiable truth. Unlike older systems that just chunk text into big, messy paragraphs, a knowledge atom isolates a single factual unit. This makes it a modular piece of data that can be flexibly connected to other ideas without causing a mess of logical interference.
The system then takes these atoms and interconnects them using the argument interchange format. So the core data, like a raw jobs report, leaves in what's called an inode. Meanwhile, the logical leaps, like why that report supposedly proves AI is harmful, are explicitly mapped out as support nodes, refutations, or preferences. This strict typing is absolutely huge because it means the AI perfectly understands how every single point in the massive debate actually relates to everything else.
But what happens when someone comes along and challenges our users' claim about AI and the economy? Well, the system utilizes the Carnarides argumentation system. It mathematically neutralizes the atom's logical weight, essentially changing its status to contested. The system then automatically shifts the burden of proof right back to the original user. It just waits there until they can satisfy that shifted burden with fresh, verified evidence.
Now, to keep all of this massive epistemic complexity from completely overwhelming you, Teventia uses a zooming user interface. It's so cool. You can literally fly from a macroscopic, bird's-eye view of the entire debate's landscape right down to a microscopic, interactive card just to interrogate one single claim. It is quite literally like Google Earth, but for arguments. Aesthetically, the interface employs a really sleek UI trend known as liquid glass. Highly verified facts are anchored and completely opaque on your screen, which visually signals trust. Meanwhile, contested or unverified claims appear frosted and translucent. This is incredibly helpful because it saves you so much time and mental energy. It visually signals a claim's instability before you even read a single word of it. Finally, when our users' claim about AI and economic stability is thoroughly vetted by both the AI agents and the community, it reaches a decided-upon state. It locks into the Knowledge Navigator tree as a static node. This is a total game changer because it allows thousands of future users to explore these verified facts with zero ongoing LLM inference costs. It makes the whole platform incredibly sustainable, saving that heavy, expensive processing power for the active, ongoing debates.
At its absolute core, this system beautifully operationalizes the philosophical practice of deconstruction. It basically ensures that no argument, no matter how popular, loud, or viral it is, escapes rigorous, verifiable scrutiny. It treats every single submitted claim as a text that has to be systematically dismantled into its atomic premises. It always prioritizes verifiable truth over lazy assumptions.
Which leaves us with the really critical thought to take away. As these tools become integrated into physical community spaces, like Forge Commons venues, how will a foundation of verified truth fundamentally change the way we collaborate and build our future? I mean, imagine arriving at a town hall meeting where the basic facts have already been algorithmically and communally verified. When we finally stop trading ideological blows and start mapping verified knowledge, what wicked problems will we finally be able to solve?